Hello and welcome to Sports Today. First things first, New Zealand is officially the world's #1 test team at the moment, and very rightly so after winning 6 test matches and the trot. Kane Williamson is perhaps in the form of his life. My two dear friends are with me, Deep Das Gupta and Pragyan Ojha, and both of them rather, have really interesting takes on what we are going to discuss today. Kane Williamson, Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, all legends. Make no mistake, all of them are legends of our times. Is the comparison fair? Can they be compared? How do they, be compared? I'll just put some statistics in front of them, which I was sort of working on before this show started. Kane Williamson has an average of 35 away from home, Smith 58, Virat 47. Breakdown in the five key top cricket playing countries: Williamson 67 at home against the five top playing countries, 67 at home, 42 overseas. Virat 69 at home, 44 overseas. And Steve Smith 67 at home and 60 overseas. So these are some of the statistics for all these three guys. Before that, while we talk about Kane and celebrate Kane, Williamson, Virat and Steve, let me also give you some pieces of news. News is David Warner certain to play, absolutely not 100%. So that's the big news that I'm getting. Will play, but definitely not 100%, in serious pain still. Number two, the pitch I'm told is brown. So Deep and Pragyan will take a call on it. The pitch I'm told is brown and with a lot of brown grass, where footmarks will result in spin, is what I'm told by sources in Australia and from within the two camps. So this is what I'm getting on the Sydney Cricket Ground pitch. So we will tackle all of these issues. Welcome Deep, welcome Pragyan. Pragyan, to you first. Kane Williamson, the new Badshah, New Zealand #1. So take both. You take the New Zealand question and the David Warner question, and I will go to Deep on the pitch and what he thinks should be India's combo. Pragyan.
Yes, I think every era will have competition. We've seen when Sunny Sir was playing, he had that group of batsmen who were competing to be the greatest. And then we saw Sachin Paji in his era. Now, obviously, in this era, it will be always, no matter what, we can say, they're different batsmen, they have, different approach. But when you talk about greatest cricketer of that era, there will be a competition. I personally I like Kane Williamson, the person, because I just love his love the way he carries himself, love the way he plays his cricket. He's quiet. He's more like Ajinkya Rahane. He doesn't talk much. He's one of the nicest cricketers. But if you see, the averages, if you look, I think Steve Smith is phenomenal, both away and home. But saying that, for me, personal choice definitely would be Kane Williamson. I love his batting. Every time I played against him, I used to, watch him play. He's technically sound, and I really felt like, he has that sound technique. Someone I would like to get his wicket to. That's what I felt.
Okay. Pragyan, I
The
think, yeah, Pragyan, go on, because the audio, go on.
Yeah, the other one, Buryada, sorry, the next one you asked me about, David
I
Warner.
asked, correct, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, I think when someone is not 100% fit, definitely there will be something in back of their mind, and every time they try and go onto the field, either they're fielding or they're batting or whatever they're doing, I think they won't be able to give their 100%. I think this shows the desperation of Australian team. They want David Warner badly. Uh, can you hear me, Boreda?
Yes. Go on.
Yeah. So it's very clear that the third test is very important for Australia, because if anything happens in this test, then I think it'll be very difficult for them to make a comeback. So they're trying to push David Warner harder to get him back. But I'm sure this thing will definitely have a little bit of space in back of the mind, David Warner's head. because when you are not 100% fit, it is very difficult to give your best when you are on the field, no matter what you do. Same with any cricketer. If you're injured, you have to be 100% fit, and then you come back and play. We don't
Okay.
know if we can aggravate it also.
Okay, Deep, we can make this claim on Sports Today. Viewers can actually watch that David will probably be fielding in the slips and not in his usual position. That's what I'm hearing, because he will not be 100%. So, two questions to you, Deep. Again, you take the question on Kane, Virat, and Steve, like Pragyan absolutely correctly addressed. But you also take the question of the pitch. And let me tell our viewers before I go to Deep that Saurav Ganguly's health update, he's fine, he's doing better, he's recovering, he's definitely better. But contrary to whatever any news channel tells you, he will be going home tomorrow, not today. He will be going home tomorrow, so don't queue up at the hospital. He will be going home tomorrow, not today, is what I'm hearing. Contrary to any news channel telling you what, that's what I'm hearing. So that's what the update is from Saurav Ganguly. Deep, both questions to you.
Okay, let's start with the Warner thing first. I think Warner, again, even though we've mentioned this before, that obviously Australia is desperate to kind of make amends with what happened in the last Test match. They need to make a comeback, so they're looking at their champion batsman, which is Warner here. But again, beware. Even though he's not 100% fit, beware of the wounded tiger, as they say, because he will have his game plan. He's got a lot of pride in him, and he would want to, even though he's not 100% fit, but he wouldn't want his batting to suffer because of that. So he will change his game plan a bit, and that's where I think the Indian team management has to be aware of what his game plans are, and what are the areas where he's not too comfortable with his injury playing. So kind of attack those areas a little more. Having said that, listen, yes, he's not 100% fit, but please be aware, and Pragyan will tell you, there are n number of instances where a player is not 100% fit, but when the team needed him, he stood up. I mean, starting from Kapil Paji's Melbourne bowling spell to n number of them, to Dilip Dar and Mr. Gavaskar. There are n number of examples. So yes, even though he's not 100% fit, but don't count him out. He's a champion batsman. That's my take on Warner. Secondly, let's address that question. Virat slash Smith slash Kane. I think three of them are modern day greats in this era, as Pragyan mentioned. Three of them absolutely champion people, champion batsmen. When you look at those numbers and the impact that these three have had on their side and on Test cricket is humongous. Technically, they have their own techniques and everything else, while Kane Williamson looks a lot more orthodox as compared to someone like, say, Steve Smith. Virat would be somewhere in the middle in that spectrum. But looking at those numbers and impact, obviously Steve Smith for me at this point in time is the number one Test batsman. I know he hasn't had a great series so far, but if you look at those numbers, he scored runs everywhere, be it in India, be it in the subcontinent, be it in difficult places like South Africa, New Zealand, England, where the ball swings around. I think he's scored, as you mentioned, 66 at home and 60 away. I mean, that is a phenomenal record. So for me, I think at this point in time, number one Test batsman, I would say Steve Smith. Second, again, I think would be Virat and both Virat and Kane. I think both are very, very close. I would tend to put Virat a little ahead. Again, Kane, we are talking about Kane that much more, obviously, because of the last three Test matches. Has been Bradmanesque. The way he's batted against Pakistan has been absolutely brilliant. But uh, it'll be a very, very close second, I think, between Virat and Kane. But listen, we are all talking about top notch. We're all talking about Ferraris and Bugattis and Lamborghinis here. So very, very minute differences in them. Three champion batsmen, but number one, if you ask me, I'm going to put Steve Smith, even though he hasn't had a great series so far.
So, Pragyan, am I right in saying that it will depend on series by series, year by year, because all of these guys will have purple patches at different points in time? The way Virat batted in England in 18, the way Smith batted in England in 19, or the way Williamson is batting now. So, it is. Do you think a comparison is fair, or do you think this is a cricket fan's fancy and we love to do these things? So, this will create debate. Or, and the second question rather is, Do you think these things at all matter to these guys? They're all proud performers. Will they want to outdo the other when they play together, or do these things matter when you're a high performance performer?
See, first of all, I'll tell you, a while ago, we used to talk about Fab Four. We are not talking about Joe Root right now because, he's not been performing. So every series, every game matters. So that's the reason we are talking about these three, because these three have been consistently performing. So Joe Root now has to make his way back if he wants everybody talking about him. And this competition is very good. See, if you're trying to be the number one test team or number one ODI team and number one T20 team, why not number one batsman? So that competition will always be there, but not at the cost of teams winning or losing when it matters. So that is a different thing. But this competition, and when you are a champion player like these three are, so somewhere there will be that I want to be the best in what I do. That's what we have seen, all over the years. Virat always speaks that he wants to be the best. I'm sure Steve Smith and Kane Williamson will be thinking in the same lines. So I think this competition will always be there irrespective of the eras. This will be there, and this is the healthy competition, I feel. This is how player also enhances his ability, and the team gets benefited.
The other question that a lot of fans have asked, and a lot of people in the comment section are saying, when you take all formats, composite formats, is Virat number one?
Oh,
T20, Test cricket, and ODIs. Is that the case? Both of you. First to you, Deep, then to Pragyan.
yeah, for me, I think for me, Virat's number one across all formats. Yeah, Steve Smith again would be number one test batsman, but across formats for me, Virat. I mean, there is no two ways about it. Absolutely no doubt. And the other important thing is, I think how this is a very healthy competition, I believe, between these three. And what they do is, it's like tennis. It's like Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. They all push each other. So I'm sure that's the same case here as well. They keep pushing each other. They keep raising the bar for each other to kind of achieve a little more. And that's the best part. I mean, listen, that's what champions are made of. I mean, it's like any other sport. I mean, if you want to be the best in the world, you've got to be better than the others. And I think that's where all these three would want to be, and I'm sure they're striving to be. And that's great news. I mean, I think what Pragyan mentioned. Every era you have that competition, and each of them push the other, and that's how you raise the bar, and that's how we, the fans, the viewers, we enjoy the sport because these people are pushing each other. So I think that's something that is really good to see. I mean, Kane Williamson now, obviously Smith, even though he hasn't had a great series, but again, he's a champion player. He's had a break. I'm sure he's going to bounce back stronger. So watch out for Steve Smith for the next two test matches.
Pragyan, Virat composite, or your thoughts on that?
No. It is miles away. Virat, all formats, if you compare, it's Virat Kohli. See the way he's been performing, the way he's doing in all the three formats. And mind you, T20, one day, and test, they are so different. And the energy that is needed for this formats is, we talk about T20. Everybody says it's a 20-over game, and you have to just bowl 4 overs, or you just have to bat 10 overs at the max. But the energy that is used, and with that, leading the country as a captain, and then getting those runs and reaching those numbers, he's miles away. There's no comparison. He's far away from these two guys when you talk about all the three formats.
Okay, Deep, couple more minutes on this before we delve on the team a little bit more. A lot of people are saying that if you're going into other formats, Rohit Sharma will also be one of the top in the white ball formats. Is that I think it's a very fair call given Rohit's record in the last few years. In white ball cricket, he should be ranked as one of the greats of the current game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. When you talk about white ball cricket, T20 and 50, it definitely is. And if you're talking about last 1 year, I think there's another Indian you've got to name as a batsman. I'm saying is obviously KL Rahul in one day and T20. So I think when you talk about white ball, Rohit, yes, I mean last 5-6 years he's been a match winner, 3 double hundreds. Even in T20, he's a proper match winner. So yeah, I mean if that's the case, and you know what, if Rohit, I mean next couple of years, Pragyan mentioned about Joe Root. Now Rohit starts playing test matches more regularly and starts scoring even 80% of what he does in white ball cricket, then he'll be pushed in there. I'm sure he would want to be there as well. Suddenly that Fab 3 might turn into Fab 4 or Fab 5 with the other players coming in. Listen, there's another really, really good batsman coming up. I mean, he's already there. I mean, everyone's noticing. That's Babar Azam. I mean, let's not count him. So on the first tier, you have these three, and then the next, you have these players like Warner, Rohit. You've got Babar Azam, Joe Root. So that's very interesting. So the next tier or next level is also pushing the other guys. They're pushing themselves, each other, and the others as well above them.
Very good point. Absolutely, Babar Azam. And I know Babar personally. Great guy. I mean, tremendous talent. Unfortunately, got injured for the New Zealand series. Otherwise, Pakistan batting would have looked far, far different with Babar Azam in that lineup. Pragyan, you know Kane well. Dissect and decode Kane for me. He's such a fabulous, fabulous representative, ambassador of the game. I mean, real cool, calm statesman, so decent, so dignified. Decode Kane Williamson for our viewers.
I think he's a thorough gentleman, and I've never seen any QE being too harsh on anybody. They've been very nice. They enjoy the game. They play the sport the way it has to be played. They play hard on the field, but they never cross the line. Never. I've never seen anyone do that. And Kane is no different. But saying that, the way he bats, the way he shifts his gears, I just love it. I think only thing where you can get him out is normally as a leg spinner or left arm spinner. What I felt was his defense. His defense was not that strong when I bowled to him. I got him out around 5 to 6 times maybe. So that's where I got him out. It was either LBW or caught at slips. So I felt his defense was not that strong. Maybe now with a lot of cricket that is played, he has obviously improved without a doubt. But that's where I felt I could have got him out.
Deep, is
Yeah.
there an Australian New Zealander, like Pragyan said?
No, I think poles apart. Poles apart. This rivalry is obviously historic and again very important as well in terms of the sport or across all sports, be it rugby or cricket or whatever. But the important thing about Virat Smith and Virat Smith and Kane is this play spin very well and the swing ball. Earlier eras and all, there were questions about some people whether they can play spin, whether they can play swing bowling, whether they can play fast and on bouncy tracks. But when you look at these three, I think they're very compact. They've shown over the years they're equally adept in playing spin. I mean, Kane of late, if you look at him playing spin, is extremely good, as Pragyan mentioned. Being part of the IPL for the last few years, I'm sure he's improved a lot on his batting against slow bowling. Then obviously you have Virat and Smith. Look at Smith. I mean, listen, in England, his numbers against England are Bradmanesque, right? Beat South Africa again. He's got a lot of runs. Same with Virat. So I think, when you talk about these three, what really stands out is they are so good against all kind of conditions, in all conditions, against all kind of bowling. And that's why they would, rate really high. When all three of them retire, they'll be in the top bracket of all-time greats.
The Pragyan, some viewers are asking, and again, rightly so, why are we keeping David Warner out of this list? They're saying, look at
Now,
his composite format record, look at the number of hundreds, except that England series, he's been consistent throughout. Why are we not including David Warner? Your thoughts?
I think if you look at his numbers in Test cricket in Australia, it
Pragyan?
is
Yeah.
superb. Yeah, can you hear me? In Australia, he's been brilliant. But when you look at what
Yes, I
he's
can.
done outside Australia, it's if you compare with these three, he's like, as you said, he's just one level below them. And when you compare these three, they have performed everywhere. And as Deepbhai said rightly, these three, they can adapt to any conditions, and they are good at fast bowling, swing bowlers, spinners. So David Warner, I think yes, he's good, but when you talk about these three, they are one step ahead of David Warner.
Okay, Deep, I'm having some internet issues. If I do, you carry on.
Yeah.
Just the next question to you, the team composition. I'm told brownish wicket, brown grass, Navdeep Saini might be preferred. That's what I'm hearing. Good
Mm.
batting deck, spinners might use the footmarks. Thoughts on that? And as I said, if I have internet issues, you continue and I'll log back in. But thoughts on the team based on the pitch
Uh,
conditions that I'm hearing.
Right. As far as the composition is concerned, I don't think I'm going to, personally speaking, there doesn't need to be any change because last test we played with two spinners. If you're required, you have Hanuma. He can bowl a few overs of off spin. So I think as far as even if the ball starts turning, which it generally does in Sydney, I think that way the composition is fine. Yes, there are two force changes, rather one force change in terms of a seamer. If the pitch is brown and there is not much movement to be expected, then yes, Navdeep Saini would be my choice as well. But because of the weather also, because we've been hearing about the weather forecast not being that great, overcast conditions, thunderstorms and all that, then you might look at Shardul Thakur also as an option is what I'm saying. But yes, if the pitch is dry, you need that bounce, you need that extra pace that Navdeep Saini has to offer. Because otherwise, with that Kookaburra ball, we all know that it doesn't really swing that much. After the first 15, 20 overs, it doesn't swing that much. Only if the conditions are a little more helpful, then you can think. But if it doesn't swing and you think it's going to be hard and dry, then you rather go with pace and bounce than swing. And sorry, with the other Rohit thing, I guess we both differ on this. We both agree to disagree on this. But I think I've mentioned that Rohit for Mayank. I do understand why Pragyan wants that continuity with Mayank to play along with Rohit to open. And I also understand his logic and I agree with his logic. But I think this test match, I think it's very, very important. The third test match, it's a must win. If you think about it, you win it. At least if India wins it, you know the Border Gavaskar Trophy is at home. I mean, you're taking it back home. So from that perspective, I would rather look at my best playing 11 without looking too much into the future, just focusing on this test match.
Again,
Yes, I think like what Deep Bhai said, it's he's spot on. If you look at that, horses for courses. Yes, I understand, but my thing is, I'm not trying to say that a Shubman Gill should be dropped. I'm just talking about the process. The process is you giving the confidence to your players. That's a very different thing. See, I'm not saying that please rest him or drop him. I'm saying, see, everybody in a team, if you look at a great side, you'll see very less changes. They back their players again and again. So that's what I meant. That is a culture which is very important. When Dada was building this team, he backed these legends like Virupa, like we've got Bhajupa, Zakpa, all these guys he backed, Uvipa, all these guys he backed. Now you see what they've done. 2011 World Cup that we won, most of them were playing in that team. It was players that Dada built, Dada backed them. So yes, I understand this test match is very important. We have to win series, but my point of view is different. I'm not talking about Shubman Gill or a Mayank Agarwal or an individual. I'm talking about the process. The process is very important. That's when you make a normal player a great player, and a normal side a great side. That's what Dada did when he took over. That's what that many years it took for him to get us the World Cup. Indirectly Dada is involved in winning the World Cup for us.
okay, big statement coming there, but from what we know, at least for this particular test match, it will be Shubman playing with Rohit, and Rohit will open. Mayank will have to sit this one out, but as Pragyan said, and Deep said yesterday as well, the team management, I'm sure, will take Mayank into confidence and give him that confidence that you are absolutely part of our scheme. It is nothing about dropping you or anything, but we are just going horses for courses for this particular test match or maybe this series. Last 5 minutes on the show remaining. Uh, from what I know, India will have only that one change. Umesh Yadav, first change, will either go to Navdeep Saini, who has his nose ahead, of Shardul Thakur. Both of them still in the schema. Ajinkya Rahane's press conference will be soon. So we will have some answers. And watch 5 at 5 today with me in the afternoon to get updates on the Brisbane Test match. Lots of questions being asked in the media. Will India go? Should India play? Will India play? What are the kind of debates going on? We will get you all the latest updates. As of now, Brisbane Test match is 100% on. As of now, it is 100% on, but the Indians have asked for certain things, which I think is very fair. So we will tell you all about that in the afternoon at 5 at 5. Last 4-5 minutes on my show. Deep Das Gupta, to you first. Ajinkya Rahane, skipper, massive test match in Melbourne. He has won. What will this one mean for him? I mean, people will start saying, oh, that was a fluke if he doesn't get runs and India doesn't do well. So we've again got to hold our horses for this particular one.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I mean, Australia will bounce back. They will come really, really hard. We know that. I mean, they are really they are a good side. It's just that their batting really hasn't fired in the last few years. Steve Smith, I think, for me, Steve Smith's still going to be the key here because they depend a lot on him, and I believe he's taken a break. What I gathered, what I hear is, listen, he's a proper introvert kind of a person, right? When you're playing in these conditions, the new normal and bubble and all, he's someone who does not open up. He needs his own people around him. And somehow I think the bubble has got to him a bit, staying away from family and his support group. But I gather he's met his wife, his family, in the last during this break, and I think that will help him. I think that will get his mind back on the job, and I think he will be really, really. I mean, you've got to watch out. He's a champion batsman, and we've spoken about this in this episode itself. How good he is. We all agree that he's the number one Test batsman in currently. So I think that's going to be the difference as far as India. I mean, listen, again, a big challenge for this side. Let's not forget we are missing some big names. Yes, the last test we played really well, but we need to carry that forward. We need to carry that momentum, that confidence, the body language, the intensity forward. That's, I think, would be the mantra. The same mindset, attacking mindset, and you do that again. Winning or losing, that will take care of itself. The process, again, at the cost of being repetitive, the process is very important.
Okay, my last two questions, one to Pragyan, one to Deep. Pragyan, to you first. Australia haven't yet announced their final 11. They've said, Tim Payne said they have a team, but they will soon. I think the debate is obviously David Warner and Will Pucovski or David Warner and Matthew Wade. Would you go with Will Pucovski, 9 concussions, multiple neurologists and all of that, while you are actually going with David Warner, who's not 100%, or would you go in with David Warner and Matthew Wade because 2 new openers at the top, one not 100%, is that too big a risk?
I think they're in big trouble right now. Right from the start of the series, if you see, they didn't know who their openers were. And if you look at that, what we are hearing is Matthew Wade. I don't think he's going to open with David Warner. It'll be David Warner and sorry for my pronunciation.
Pucovski. Pucovski.
Pukovsky. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what we are hearing. But this opening also looks fragile to me because David Warner is not 100% fit, and the other one, as you said, with all that happening to him recently. So let's see how they come out and play. I think Matthew Wade never looked that confident to me. Maybe he was there, but he never looked that confident. So maybe Matthew Wade will give way to Pucovski. And the other thing, the Boria, that was a brilliant statement that you gave. That people are talking about Ajinkya Rahane's 100 as a fluke. For God's sake, getting 10 or 15 runs or 20 runs in a test match, you should talk to someone. Firsthand, you should have that experience. And a guy, going out against all odds, getting those runs for you and your team winning, and then people talking, even if they think, I think that is wrong. That is extraordinary effort by Ajinkya Rahane.
Yeah,
I am very sure. Yeah.
yeah. Test matches are not won in a fluke. I
Yes,
mean,
That's
yes,
why
yes, yeah,
T20 and ODI cricket can happen.
yes,
5 days
ye-
test matches are not won in a
yes,
fluke. So forget about it.
yes.
Deep
yeah.
question to you. If you were
Mm.
Jasprit Bumrah, this fellow has had 9 concussions. He's consulted multiple neurologists. 2 bouncers in the first 5 overs, at least 10. Straight go for him. This is a ruthless game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, put a short leg in, put a short leg, put a leg gully in, and attack. Why not? I mean, you don't have a, you should, I mean, you don't need a long on and all, as in a mid on and all. So you don't need a mid on, don't need a mid off. Have an extra cover, have 2 catching positions for that bouncer. At least put it in his mind, put it in his head. I mean, cricket is, I mean, especially test match cricket, it's all about that. I mean, you might not even bowl a bouncer, but at least just tell him that I can, and you are fragile there, and you've been fragile there. I'm going to attack there. But you know what? For me, I think I will still play Matthew Wade. I might not play Travis Head. I might play Matthew Wade at number 5 in place of Travis Head. I actually might go with Marcus Harris. Marcus Harris, because he's one of those guys who can play. He's very Dean Elgar kind of a batsman, very Pujara kind of a batsman who will slog it out there, resilient. So I might actually look at, even though they are both left-handers, Warner and Marcus Harris, but I wouldn't mind looking at that option either. And Matthew Wade, because he's one of the only few people who've got runs in this series so far, I'll still play Matthew Wade instead of Travis Head in the middle order.
Yeah, Travis Head was supposedly Australia's captain option, struggling for a place in the side. Tells you about the Australian mindset. Come on, Australia, give us your team. You need to go better. This is your home series. You guys are
I
favorites.
think
Come on.
I think this is for the first time we are seeing Australia not looking that confident. Normally they are the ones who started this culture of giving the team one day prior to the test match.
Absolutely correct. On that note, underconfidence number 1. A minister says India doesn't want to play. Underconfidence number 2, try to divert attention by Virat and Pandya breaking protocol. Underconfidence number 3, 5 players have broken protocol. Underconfidence number 4, the team is not announced yet. Underconfidence number 5, David Warner injured. You still want to play him. Come on, Australia, you can do better. On that note, on Sports Today, Deep Dasgupta, Pragyan Oja, we've got so much fun, yeah. So much fun on this particular platform. You guys, thank you for joining us. You have asked about Ridhima. No, Miss India, she's the host. She's not disappeared like a la Miss India. She's at an event, so she will join us very, very soon, maybe in the next show. So make no mistake, she's very, very much part of us. We will again be back. We will again be back with our pre-show and 5 at 5 final update on the team 11, on the final 11 for both teams, Australia and India, and very important updates on the Brisbane Test. What's happening there? Will India go? Will it be a 4-test series? What is the deal? All updates 5 at 5 with Boria. Thanks for watching this particular show. Subscribe, notification, ring the bell, because this is the platform where you get all your news. For Fan Destination, this platform belongs to you guys. You guys are the ones who will make this platform. Thanks for watching.